Thank you for joining us on this journey through the Marvel Cinematic Universe's Infinity Saga. This is your one and only spoiler warning for any of the movies in the saga. If you have a strong desire to see any of the movies before hearing about them from two regular Dans, turn this off now and go watch those amazing pieces of cinema. Then come back here and listen to our take, because we have a lot of interesting takes. We always discuss the current movie, but the stories here are so interwoven it's almost impossible not to talk about the future movies in the franchise. So, again, this is your one and only spoiler warning for any of the movies in the Infinity Saga of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is also your one and only adults-only content warning. Our aim is never to offend or alienate, and everything we say should be taken with a grain of salt. Please refrain from taking offense to our comedy. We're just here to discuss the current movie and have fun. Enjoy! Hey, Dan.
Hey, how's it going, Dan?
Good, how are you?
Fantastic.
That's good to hear. This is discussing Dan's.
Oh.
It's tough to get through that name. This is Entertainment and You, how pop culture shapes your world. Our mission statement is to keep a vague coughing and open dialogue about how science fiction has affected pop culture as viewed through the eyes of two Dans
In the 30s and 40s.
in their 30s and 40s. No topic is too off topic, and no opinion is wrong. We are in our fourth film
That sounds right.
in our Infinity Saga 1, 2, 3, 4. We're on the fourth film of our Infinity Saga. This one's titled Thor,
Yeah, where they introduce a god.
named Thor. Released in 2011 by director Kenneth Branagh.
Yep. Who had done something, I think, like Romeo and Juliet, something related with Shakespeare in the past.
And that's actually Teresa and I were talking about that. Yeah, that's absolutely true. He'd only done a couple of things with
So,
Shakespeare.
which might have been one of the reasons why they picked him for the, can you talk about Shakespearean
Can
times?
you say thine and thus and whatever?
Right. Make sure we get proper thines and thuses.
Yeah. So we get introduced to our characters very early. Papa Skarsgård.
Earthly characters.
Earthly characters, yeah. Papa Skarsgård, Natalie Portman,
Yeah.
Princess Amidala,
Princess.
and Kat
Dennings.
Dennings.
That's right.
Yes, the sexy Kat Dennings.
Jane Foster.
Eric
Skarsgård's playing Eric
Selvig, yeah. And then
and Darcy Lewis is who Kat Dennings is playing.
I didn't even know they called her last name. I know they call her Darcy a whole lot. But
well, the true fans know she's Darcy Lewis, and
Darcy
that's why you
Lewis.
come here. That's
true. That's true.
So D's discussing D's.
So I mean, to be completely honest, I'm not the biggest fan of the Thor movies, but after rewatching it, after seeing the whole saga, I gave it a little more credit.
Yeah, it's I really like I feel that Chris Hemsworth is born for this role. He is just, I don't know, what I picture of Thor.
Bleeds Thor.
He bleeds
all
Thor.
day.
Yeah. He's huge, and his face screams
Like Viking warlord.
Viking
god.
warrior, right?
Yeah.
Viking, yeah, exactly. Viking nobility. I don't know. It's crazy. It's he's crazy. He's enormous and chiseled, and
extremely
charming and hilarious. And I'd marry that dude.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Shout out
Chris Hemsworth.
any of the Hemsworth brothers. Larry.
Yeah,
I'll take Larry.
I'd
Hemsworth.
take any Hemsworth. I'll be honest. No, but
The blonde eyebrows, though.
oh gosh,
Not a fan in this one.
Because he must have been dark brown hair, and they couldn't take it. They couldn't pass him off as.
I mean, I have dark eyebrows and blonde hair.
Right?
So
Yeah, it's not unheard
I don't
of.
see how it's too crazy to think that he's got blonde hair.
Yeah, the wig would have passed
Yeah.
muster, but he did look really babyish. And I found that as his youthfulness in the beginning part of the movie. His eyes are doughy, and he's
right
so
out of college.
expectant. Yeah, just
A little college freshman or
yeah. He just
or life
seems
freshman.
and just Chris Hemsworth just looks younger than.
I think they drew, or maybe digitally, or drew age lines on his forehead because he's like in his early or mid 20s when this movie came out.
Right. And this character's supposed to be something like. Well, actually, he says it later on that he's 1,500 years old. So I can't imagine it's too much less than that now.
Yeah, I was happy to hear Anthony Hopkins in the beginning narrating the whole. I don't know, some epic war I don't really care about between the
You don't
Asgardians.
care about, dude. I love this. Well, it's
cool.
It's a splinter in my mind about what the Asgardians are in the Marvel universe, MCU.
Yeah,
we know
not Norse mythology, but
right,
MCU Asgardians.
The Celestials were beings that were very advanced, and their existence is a mystery, but we know that they plausibly existed before our universe existed, and they have cosmic powers we can barely understand, and they're like gigantic in size. They're the size of mountains and stuff. But the Asgardians are human looking. They are also way old, and Thor is 1,500 years. And Odin has to be older than that.
A lot older than that, yeah. And he had a dad.
And he had a dad, Bor. We learn later from Thor Ragnarok that before Odin had Thor and Loki, or he stopped his warring ways. He had a mind
became the
change.
benevolent king.
But yeah, right. He became the benevolent king. Right, yeah. But before that, he wasn't so benevolent, and
him and Hela raised hell of a lot of hell.
Yeah, so I just wonder what the Asgardians are in relation to the Celestials. Celestials created humans, and Asgardians look human.
So are the frost giants or whoever they fight in this one, are they also created by the Celestials? We don't know.
We
in
just
terms
don't
of the
know.
MCU, we don't know.
Right, the ice giants are more in relation to the Norse mythology, which I got to be honest. I think this movie, the MCU, does a unbelievably great job at blending, having Odin and Thor as cast members.
Yeah.
With
in a reality
alongside Special Agent.
Coulson.
Yeah, Coulson, right? Yeah.
And Natalie Portman.
Right. It's amazing how they do it.
They grounded they took gods of myth and on page in comic books and kind of grounded them.
Yeah. I mean, I think like back in the 60s and 70s when the Thor comic book character was still first being introduced, the comic book industry is looked at as for child entertainment.
Yeah. You can be crazy.
Yeah, you can be crazy, and it's not going to be ever a big deal.
Brings us back to the Thanos copter.
Yeah, right.
Again.
Yeah, they had no idea.
Yeah.
But I think it's a really cool concept. I am just curious to learn more about.
Yeah, are the citizens gods? Do they have powers? Like, if a human took a knife and tried to jump and stab an Asgardian citizen, would it puncture his skin? Would he be as strong as him?
What's the ratio?
Well, yeah,
between
what kind of
son of Odin and the average Asgardian?
Is this like Chaozu fighting Cell or Frieza, or is this?
Odin later says in Thor Ragnarok that Asgard is a people, not a place, and maybe it's a whole bunch of castaways or people that earned Odin's respect across the galaxy or something. That I don't know. It's an interesting thought as to what makes an Asgardian.
Maybe the place that they're actually at is what makes them. Maybe they are actually better there, but then once it explodes, they're just regular old doofuses and sucking their thumbs, flying through space.
Right. Yeah.
But they're trying to bring in a character that's probably really hard for people to relate to because A, he's a fucking god, and B, he's the most, in my opinion, ridiculous of the Avengers in the movies, like the most outlandish. He comes from Norse mythology. He's
Yeah.
not like a guy in a suit or a mutant or anything like that.
Yeah,
He's
no.
just-
His powers are kind of considered magical.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, I would say magic. Where do I come from? They're one and the same.
Exactly. Right. He has
Magic and
a
science.
special understanding of it. And Loki's a sorcerer, able to do
Super magic.
right. Well,
Deception magic.
Yeah.
And he was really young in this. They both look really. Yeah, look, they drew like on his forehead.
Sure.
The dyed eyebrows, god awful, but and Loki looks
Bad
really
choice.
young, or not Loki. Tom Hiddleston as Loki looks very young in this compared to
Well,
some of the later films, even. I mean, Avengers, even.
yeah. Well, it actually as I watched this recently, it brought up an aspect of confusion to me because again, they're supposed to be 1,500 years old. Thor has mildly bad stories about Loki as a kid, like he turned him into a snake and
He stabbed him.
They stabbed him. But
Picked
but
it up to marvel at it.
They
turned it in and
because he
stabbed
knows
him.
they love snakes.
Yeah.
But he at the beginning of this movie, Thor, he and Loki are friends and a co-adventurer.
As children?
at-
In this movie, you mean? In Thor 1?
Even but even prior to this, when Loki is manipulating Thor is not even suspecting of Loki, and
You're my brother.
right, like
You're my brother. I'll leave you. I love you so much.
Thor's friends get talked into it real quickly.
The something 3. The Warriors 3.
Warriors
something
3.
in the
Sif,
Warriors 3.
maybe?
Sif.
And the Warriors
Yeah,
3.
because it's the lady.
The lady sits in the Warriors 3. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That checks out. I don't understand why they didn't even suspect Thor. Thor doesn't suspect Loki for the deception and the trickery and just swallows the idea to let's go charge into Jotunheim and accuse them as
Well, he's got.
breakers of our truce and show him who's boss is what he wanted to do.
So are you saying because what he said in Ragnarok, where he was always tricking him and shit like that, him not believing or him falling into his deceptive trap in this movie is kind of unjustified? Because he should have been suspecting all along? Because they kind of say in this movie all the time that he's been a trickster, and they're like, oh, well, even towards the end of Warriors 3, like, he'd never go that far.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying is it seemed as though Loki was more their trusted friend than their adversary.
Like kind of a dick sometimes. Just
right.
yeah.
Maybe he took his pranks too far or what have you, but he's part of their team. They wouldn't suspect that he would be actually letting frost giants into the crypt to steal the... no, they didn't suspect that. That was all supposed to be a surprise, but I'm just saying that it's crazy that they didn't even suspect. For 1,500 years, Loki's keeping that deception. And
he's just that good. He's that good. You don't play poker with Loki, is the lesson we take away from that.
Right.
I hated the table flip scene. Personally.
Right. Yeah.
The angry baby Thor. I wanted to go after the Elf King, but I can't now because Daddy said no.
Yeah.
And he flips a 40-foot long table.
Like you said in the intro, this isn't your favorite movie. There's plenty of reasons why. It's hard to swallow the so brash and brazen, ready to fall into an obvious.
For the plot that they give you, the pacing is slow enough for you to figure out the plot quicker than they deliver the plot.
Yeah.
And especially after watching all the later movies, that I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, come on! I know they're gonna come they're gonna do this. Okay, I understand. Yeah. All right, I got it. And then they take 40 minutes to get there.
Yeah. I always love the Rainbow Bridge, though.
Yeah, dude.
Something about the Rainbow Bridge, it's the coolest thing in the world.
Hated level in Mario Kart, favorite thing in Asgard.
Right?
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, no.
I love Hulk falling on it.
Right?
Yeah.
When Thor when Thor smashes it, it's just crazy.
Oh, that was
looking.
cool too.
Yeah,
that was
it's
really
just
dope.
really
And their feet all glow under it when they walk, like the horses when they're running and stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I mean, and it's also like a plot hole that they just kind of overlook in the future, right? Like
That's why I'm interested to see
see what the
sequel and see if they fix it. Or,
oh, yeah,
because there is another chamber. I mean, I remember Thor Ragnarok pretty well, and there was definitely a chamber that...
Yeah, that's where the head came off, and yeah,
all that stuff.
That's what I think it's just kind of overlooked or assumed that they fixed it or something like that.
It's probably just they fixed it.
Yeah, right.
What's his name? Heimdall.
Heimdall
Fixed it. He's like, I got to do something. Can't just stand. Yeah, he's got
cut down these.
You see, like scaffold at the end of the
rainbow trees.
Bridge.
Process the rainbow
trees
to put it into the rainbow bridge.
You need all those cogs around to make the thing spin and shoot you into another dimension.
Yeah.
Or whatever the fuck is happening.
Well, science and magic's the same thing up here.
Yeah. So free literary license to do whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
I did like the
spinning.
No, just the cool effects. Just
Absolutely.
Like the frozen lightning, that was pretty cool.
Absolutely, yeah.
The frost giant.
No, I absolutely. I mean, I do like the description of how magic and science is the same thing to these Asgardians. It
explains their ships later in the movies.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of have the role slightly. Well, no, I don't take that. I take that back. It's only Odin's heirs that have powers that are notable. Valkyries are supposed to.
They're just supposed to be hardened warriors, the best of the best. Yeah, they're like the ODST or.
Yeah, but Odin's children, being an Odin son, is going to make you a little bit more potent.
Yeah, super juice running through your blood.
Right.
And I like that. I forgot that they had done them being shot through the Rainbow Road, like actual following them, which was pretty cool. See that in Thor Ragnarok as well, like when Hela kicks him out of it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
It's absolute worthwhile development of what this kind of transport is. They did a great job moving what the imaginations of kids and reading these comic books.
How it would transfer on screen.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
And especially if you were trying to do a grounded work in reality with air quotes.
Yeah. Yeah. So Thor goes in.
Yeah, that fight.
Yeah, the fight with the ice giants, man, like the Warriors, except for the Warriors 3 are, I don't know, a tenth of what they bring to it, because Thor's like hardly ever threatened, and they're like, I'm bleeding, we gotta run.
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty much in danger all the time, and Thor's just like, we got this, guys. And they're like, oh, you do.
Drive forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good, when your hero's Thor, and as the observer, you're feeling conflicted, like, oh man, you're making the rough choices. You're not, I wouldn't do that. That's the kind of redemption, the choice, the learning that you want your hero to go through. But he is just really just throwing his kids towards a whole bunch of murderous ice giants. And then there's Loki having his blue skin reveal.
Yeah, the only time in the whole franchise where he
faces an ice giant.
Ever faces an ice giant and turns blue and finds out he's
1,500 years.
It doesn't. Yeah, exactly.
Keep on wanting to throw that in.
That's
there.
a hell of a length of a lie.
Right.
How does he? How does this dude just got stabbed? How does he?
Oh yeah.
Not use the ice powers for the rest of. Doesn't he use ice powers in this movie? I could have sworn there was a point where he goes like whooshing and makes some frozen fisticuffs. That's not Loki. Okay.
No, I mean all the ice giants. That's their move. They put fisticuffs on. They put ice fisticuffs on their hands to make their punches extra stabby.
Oh, stabby punches.
I don't want to brag, but my punches are stabby.
I liked some of the fight sequences are cool. I mean, I know it's all CGI, and him spinning the hammer is part of the comic book arsenal of moves, but I don't know. It's hard for me to get behind the whole him spinning the hammer and shooting ice and all that. The hokiness, I couldn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I just couldn't forgive on this one.
I think it's hard. It was hard for Hemsworth to swallow as well. That's why he wasn't like too keen on wanting to continue. I remember hearing that like he was kind of tired with his character.
Yeah, I mean,
and Ragnarok turning it around was like, oh, okay, I could play this again.
Yeah.
I could see that being running out of room of development with a character drawn so two-dimensionally. It seems.
Yeah, he's your broad-shouldered
idiot.
Yeah, princey idiot. Yeah.
Well, actually, I gotta say I love the weapon Mjolnir.
Meow meow.
Meow meow. Right in this movie, meow meow. From what I understand, the to the wielder, the worthy wielder,
Captain America,
the weight of the hammer is as much as you want it to feel, but the hammer in reality, the hammer end, the metal end, in reality can weigh as much as Mjolnir imagines you want it to weigh. So you can swing it with ease, yet that easy swing of yours impacts your destination with megatons of potential power.
Fuck yeah.
Which is crazy cool to imagine. So it's like this dude who's not only a tank to where it's really difficult to significantly physically damage Thor, and he's stronger than average.
Yeah.
He's got a huge OP weapon. The weapon is just astronomically put him to the next level.
I wonder what would have... Oh, yeah, he does.
So I imagine, I'm just saying, that's how I could see how he can come into such a overly confident and ridiculously stupid.
Tony Stark syndrome, minus the smarts.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. He never had need for it because the magic and science is the same thing. I'll just rely on my magic hammer.
Yep. And I'll throw a cup down on the ground whenever I want a fresh coffee.
Right.
Like, that's, all that stuff. But
what happens to a broken cup in Asgard? That's
a servant comes and cleans it up, I imagine. Like, that's...
But are there pot makers, or is there just like a...
Oh, you better believe there's some pottery makers. Yeah. That's how they're throwing down their drinks when they want another one and they like it.
Well, that's what I mean. That maybe there's just like a pot factory that if they're just used to breaking them at the end of each drink, they're disposable. I mean, yeah, clean them up, but I mean...
That's the true hero of Asgard. the potterers, potterers, I guess.
There's got to be a solution.
I think there's a real name for that, because leather makers are, what are they called?
Ceramicicians?
Probably ceramicician, yeah, ceramicician. I think so. It sounds about right. I can't remember the name for a leather person who works with leather. It's going to drive me nuts.
I know cobbler's the guy who works with shoes.
Cobbler. Yeah, it's shoes and leather.
Well, there you go.
And did you know a tyromancer is a person who uses
Controls
cheese?
Tyrone?
No, who uses cheese to foresee the future, or try to.
Tyromancer.
A tyromancer, yeah. Tyromancy was a thing back in the day. They used aged cheese...
to try
ferment and smell it.
It doesn't accurately see it. Just try.
No, they just get high off of moldy cheese smell.
Oh god, that sounds great. I love cheese.
I love tyromancy. I think there's a name for that. There's probably tyromancers in Asgard.
I want some cheese right now.
I got cheese at home.
All viewers, please send in your cheese.
No, because it'll come in gross.
Yeah, well, I mean...
It's just a leather worker. I was mistaken. A leather worker is a person who works with leather. A cobbler.
You know what? I feel like I knew that.
I feel like I feel like it was obvious, but then I didn't want to say it to seem like a smarty pants.
But
excuse me.
I think they're going to be able to hear your burps.
I can cut that out. But poor Thor, the first time we see him become a human is when his good old Pops strips him of his title and banishes him. Where does he doesn't even specify where he banishes him to. He says, I cast thee out.
Yeah, Midgard's the obvious next step, I guess.
Okay, so what? We're hell to these people? Is that what I'm supposed to... I mean, I agree completely, but... So when you cast out from Asgard without specifying a place, you automatically go to Midgard. And who's to say he didn't land up on Mars or...
Now my mind is just drawing parallels to like Asgard and Neverland.
From Hook,
Right?
from Pirate.
I
from
mean, you
Peter Pan.
age on Earth, and you're on Earth. You're mortals. You can grow up, but on Asgard, you could live for 1,500 years, and
Still
everything's magical. You can throw your cups on the ground, and everything's fine. Nobody cares.
You don't get hit by cars twice by Princess Amidala.
I'm just saying, right? Exactly. His experience in
Oh, and so is her name Padme Amidala?
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I've heard Padme and I've heard Princess Amidala. I'm like, so is it Padme Amidala then?
Yep.
Okay. Just clarifying. But she's Thor's little love interest in this one.
Yeah. I haven't seen Thor 2, and I hear it gets intense because she like gets a floaty and
Something-
red stuff going.
Yeah,
on her.
she gets some kind of stone.
And then the next time we see her, which amazingly she was in, she gets some kind of stone. Yeah, it
she
turns
gets
the
stone,
reality
the reality
stone
stone injects her.
is what we know through context clues because we see her in Endgame.
Which is a deleted scene from Thor 2. Did you know that?
No.
That's not. She didn't go on set or anything. They asked her. I'm pretty sure. I'll do my research, but I'm pretty sure they asked her if they could use her in the movie, and she said no. And they said, well, we have these deleted scenes, and she said, yeah, that's fine.
Interesting.
Yeah. So and it makes sense, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Because
they're talking about clothes or some shit. Like that's it.
Obviously, that's what I mean. Like I was like, that was amazing that she did this because I was like, that's so unbelievable for the little. I mean, I don't even know if I saw her face. You know what I mean?
You do see her face. She wakes. There's like a scene where she's out the door. Like, do you have pants? And they say, what are pants? And they're like, never mind. And there's another scene where she's waking up, and then they digitally put in Rocket Raccoon in the background with the syringe coming up to stab her. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's brilliant!
Yeah.
What a great move.
So it worked out. Yeah, it worked out pretty well. I don't know if they asked her and she said no. I don't want to say that's
sure. Or maybe she could have been inconvenienced.
Yeah,
by
she
it
could have
or
been doing
whatever.
something else or whatever. Right. But yeah, they used that.
That Natalie Portman is just cool. Have you seen her Saturday Night Live?
Oh my God,
raps?
yeah. Fuck
oh my
yeah.
God,
and isn't she a Harvard graduate too?
Yeah.
She's just all around cool lady. So yeah, when Thor gets cast out and ends up in the hospital, I guess he's just as weak as the rest of them. And he even says
for a 6 foot, 6'4" muscle bound dude.
When I say weak, I mean capable of doing what a person that size is capable of doing, not capable of doing what a god is capable.
Right.
of
This
doing.
is where tasing, and I didn't even question it. He got tased by the lady, and yeah, if he's a mortal dude, then tasing would affect him.
Yeah, and syringes too.
Yeah, syringes would go into him.
You dare? You think you can stand against the mighty stab? Passes out immediately.
Oh man, does he have some comedic chops?
Yeah, they should have played on more of the. There was so much potential for comedy in this. Like,
Well,
the whole is the Ren Fair in town when the
right?
the Warriors 3?
The thing is, I don't know if they were. You know what? This is Thor. We got to lean into it. If we're gonna say this is a character, we got to play it serious. I'm just saying, they did their part. I would say in Thor 1 at least, to where when I saw Thor Ragnarok, because again I haven't seen Thor 2, and it's coming up. It's that the characters evolved, and it's evolved along with society, evolved around with the MCU. It's been getting more and more popular, and by Thor Ragnarok, the persona of Thor had shed his "dost thou."
Yeah,
persona.
he's been assimilating with humans all this time.
Asgard has been decimated, left on in Ireland or
by the end of Ragnarok.
Right.
Sweden, I think.
Sweden, yeah,
Something like
Norway.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Right. Skarsgård knows. Ask him.
Yeah.
It's just crazy that so much has happened to Thor throughout the whole MCU. You're right. His arc is crazy, and I observed when I saw this for the first time when Thor he doesn't have his powers and he gets cast down. He finally accepts it. when he fails at lifting up the hammer.
Oh yeah, that was actually pretty sad.
Right?
Pretty brutal scene.
I'll first say he goes insta humble, and
Yeah, that's true.
he's
like serving them breakfast and shit.
Yeah,
drinking with Eric. Like,
yeah.
He definitely goes through the 5 phases of guilt or whatever, loss.
Yeah. But he grows up. This is what I'm saying, is that he sheds what Asgard was, and then more like Neverland. You could only imagine it was a long time period of Thor's supposed to be having adventures, thwarting enemies across the tree of existence,
9 realms,
the
yeah.
9 realms, and and so.
I didn't realize that was your foot.
Yeah, like on both sides. I was like, that's right.
My bad.
No,
Stretching
this
my
is
legs.
my set. I need to
Stretching my legs.
No, but
baby.
yeah, I mean, I was like, I'm surrounded. But it was for 1,500 years he's been adventuring across the 9 realms, likely adventuring, because it's curious to me as to what his main triumphs, struggles were over 1,500 years.
Yeah. Before this humbling,
Was he
insta-humbling effect.
Yeah, was he helping, hurting in any of the Thanos's march across the galaxy? Was he?
Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't even know about it, right? You know, he must have been the first learner.
He was probably defending threats to Asgard. That's it.
Yeah, it's weird. Asgardians, in a way, are also a parallel to Kryptonians in the fact that they've existed for so long, and they, well, no, just the offspring. I mean, we don't know if the average Asgardian is any different.
They
than
probably won't ever
average,
specify. Yeah. Well, shit. Half of them. First of all, they were slaughtered by Thanos, and then half of them are wiped out after that.
Yeah, and Sif and the Warriors 3 were never shown to have any kind of power. They had like
No, they're just. Yeah, you're right. They are just. I think the average Asgardian isn't nothing. Because Hela kills the 4 of them. Actually, I don't even think Sif is in Ragnarok.
Oh, yeah, no, she wasn't.
But the 3 of them die in the first 40 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
She just comes in from Earth or from wherever and she's like, "Hey guys, dead."
Yeah, right.
Picked a classic New Mexican city
Yeah.
as the setting.
Great location for a showdown with godly proportions.
Cheap location to film.
Right, it seemed almost like a whole film setting town.
Yeah.
Which is,
Hey,
you don't need more.
no, not
Yeah.
for this story.
No.
Most of it takes place on Asgard, so that's fine. But he gets cast down after they have their argument, and he's trying to earn his stars back, his special worthiness.
Yeah, he learns about his hammer. He learns that somebody can't lift these hammers, and so he's heading in that direction. And so the scientist crew get their equipment and their data
Jacked
stolen.
by Agent Coulson.
Agent Coulson brings it in.
I actually made some notes. There's some other people in here that I didn't recognize. Oh, the bald guy, the bald bad guy.
Yep.
He's in
Yep.
this.
He's
I
a
was
shield
like,
agent.
what?
He's a Hydra agent.
Yeah, he's a
Later on revealed
Hydra
to be.
agent. But and that blue box that they had in the beginning, is that the Tesseract? No, right? Because they have it at the end. Is the blue box just related to the Frost Giants? Is that not connected to the MCO?
No. The blue box was like the grave of. Oh man, I meant to look this up. I'm gonna look this up.
Yeah, it was obviously the source of the
Yeah, it was like the grave
their
of
powers. But
yeah. Of the Frost Giants. It belongs to the Frost Giants, and it can create infinite cold. Is I think basically. I gotta
put that in
look
my
it up.
fridge.
But I think symbolically, that's about like I'm fighting off heat death. You know what I mean? Like that's what the Frost Giants. If they are the element of cold throughout the galaxy, then it's entropy and ultimately ends in heat death, And that's what I imagine that grave unleashed would do, is bring upon heat death to the galaxy, which is what he's staving off by keeping the grave thing here and calling it a truce. You have to be on your cold world of Yeffelheim or whatever. Jotunheim, and I was half right.
You're good. Oh yeah, and Barton, I forgot. Sorry.
Right, the introduction of Hawkeye.
For less than
we have a crane just for the arrow guy. Yeah, I know.
Less than a minute of airtime.
Yeah,
Nothing.
But that's all you need for the woven threads that they're tying this MCU together, and it was awesome, I thought.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even know who he was when they were.
Right, they didn't even
They don't even say his name. He says Barton. He calls him Barton.
Yeah.
And I think then you're supposed to specify, or fans, I'm sure, were like, oh, Agent Barton. Yeah. Oh, speaking of names, Teresa looked this up, but the name. So in the beginning, when he meets Natalie Portman, and she's giving him clothes because he's a giant.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, that's my ex-boyfriend's clothes. And he's like, what's this?
Donald Blake.
Yeah. That, she said, was supposed to be like a host for Thor when he appears on Earth in the comics or something like that. Or that was his name that he gave himself.
That was his cover.
Yeah.
That was his cover identity. I almost want to say he might have been like a doctor or something.
Yeah,
like
it was
that.
MD.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was Donald Blake, MD. Sorry.
Yeah, no, and so, and I'm not positive, but I think that he also had his hammer disguised as an umbrella often, which was
the throwback in Ragnarok.
Right.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Huh. Man, I like these movies more when I watch them. I mean, more as I watch them. But Oh, and Stan Lee's cameo. He was the truck driver trying to pull the hammer out of the... they took a bunch of chains, wrapped it around the hammer, and his truck bed gets ripped off of his truck, and he's like, oh, did it work?
Yeah.
Classic.
And it's in stereo.
Jinx.
I can't speak for the next 3 minutes. Oh, they called it the Casket of Ancient Winters.
Jesus, that's dope.
Yeah, right? That's way cooler than what I said.
Yeah. Casket of Ancient Winters. It's amazing.
Quora.com says, the magical blue box that Odin's vault in that movie is the Casket of Ancient Winters, an artifact specific to the frost giants that contains an endless supply of cold-aligned magic, capable of disrupting Odin's own magic and freezing over an entire planet.
Whoa.
So yeah, for sure, I think...
so he just brings it wherever he wants and freezes them bitches over.
Casket of Ancient
that's what the beginning was about, in that 565 AD or whatever. It was...
did they give a year? Is that when he first declared the truce on the...
Well, that's when they said, and that's like, I'm pretty sure that's like Viking time, but that's when they said that humans were in threat of another ice age, and they show the frost giants like, hey, what up? I got this cold box. Y'all want to die? And then Odin showed up and fucked them up.
Nice. Thank you, Odin.
Yeah. Respect. So, if Thor was 1500 and he shows up in 560, he must have like just had him.
Time works different in the astral plane.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's very true. It's very true. So they definitely took over some sort of decommissioned the researchers. Natalie Portman, Papa Skarsgård, and
right. Darcy.
Kat Dennings, yes. Right. Darcy Lewis.
We all know her last name.
Let's do the character names. Darcy Lewis.
I can pull that up.
Padme Amidala.
It's not. It's Jane Foster.
Jane Foster and Eric
Selvig.
They set up shop, and I was trying to figure out the whole movie. I couldn't. You think it's like a car dealership or something?
Yeah, that really cool roof scene. That's like it seems like it's maybe a fancy diner that's closed out.
And all windows around them. It's like, that's a pretty cool place to set up shop.
Yeah,
it's like
very cinematic.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine how you're paying rent or are allowed to squat there.
No, yeah, because the power was on. They were all good. Yeah. So they Shield steals her research, and then by the end of the movie, give it back at the
Donald
Thor.
Blake or Thor.
He calls
is
him
able
Donald at the end too.
is able to, when he gets rescued by, saved by Eric Selvig, saying, he was drinking.
Oh, yeah.
Gave him the whole bum story in which Coulson's like, I'm just going to believe.
Yeah, they let him. They had the thing. It was said fake ID
they
or
knew
whatever.
he was right, but they wanted to see where he was going with this. I think they were saying or suggesting that Agent Coulson had a feeling that while Thor is potentially dangerous, he's not a danger to us. And the beginnings of S.H.I.E.L.D. or the good guys trusting Thor and Nick Fury's original vision of how he can create the Avengers initiative could come to fruition with a candidate such as the formerly known as the North God Thor, but now we know as just the alien.
Yeah, pretty much.
Thor.
I would guess alien, or I would say alien, 100%. And then the Loki scenes. How did he get to Earth? Is that just magic? Should I just say magic and be done with it?
Well, it's yeah. I mean, you could say magic, but it. Oh yeah, actually they address it. The dude.
Eric Selvig.
No. Heimdall. Heimdall is like, yo, I see that you were on Realm, but I couldn't see what you're doing.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah, you're right.
So Loki is able to get there through his own sorcerer means.
He even says there's other ways to get to the realms other than the Rainbow Bridge.
Right.
Yeah, it's true.
So
you little trickster.
Right. He is an awesome.
He was so good. They brought him back like 5 times.
Yeah, right.
And he's getting his own fucking TV show. That's how good he is.
I know. It was hard for me to formulate how to complete that. He's such a good, and I want to say, nemesis. He is.
I call him a nemesis. I call him an on-again, off-again.
In the comics, he was solely a nemesis and a problem for Thor. I don't remember many times in which he ended up needing to team up with Loki in the comics. I think that the MCU fans, authors like Tom Hiddleston as a character, and so they don't want to continue or stay true to their death scenes.
Yeah.
Loki being a trickster god, it's a plausible, believable, you could eye roll and continue to believe the story.
Yeah. The enemy of my enemy, over and over and over again.
Right? As long as these people are buying my story. Yeah.
Exactly.
We want to be entertained. Are we not entertained?
More Loki! More Tom Hiddleston! Yeah, I loved... we already mentioned it, but Kat Dennings pronouncing Mjolnir.
Meow meow.
Was super cute. Yeah, meow meow. What did she say? Meow meow? And Eric Selvig says he knew a guy expert in gamma radiation.
Yeah.
Who talked to S.H.I.E.L.D. and went missing shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
I think that somehow links up to the beginning of Batman.
Oh, you know what? I do think that is 100% accurate.
No.
And then...
I do think that is 100% accurate.
When does Chewbacca show up?
Yeah, it's somewhere like by the
it's
way.
like hour 15 or something like that.
Schwartz gets activated.
Yeah, that's right. And then Dark Helmet comes and. But I've always wondered the helmet that they give Loki, the fancy one.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It looks like it's heavy, but it's got to be. I mean, it can't be like styrofoam, right? It's got to be something.
You know, that's actually one of my splinter in my mind questions as to why do as children of Thor have the ability to mind manipulate their outfits on will command. Thor does it all the time. Loki does it all the time. Loki can do it as an illusionist.
Yeah, I was gonna say Loki can do it as an illusionist, but as far as I'm interested to see the coming up movies, but this one you're right. When he becomes worthy again, he somehow gets all of his armor, and in Endgame he blasts it all onto him. Right.
He could braid his beard if you want.
And in Ragnarok he does it. Yeah, that's true. But
his appearance is at will. Is what my point is.
Yeah.
And that's just a son of Odin thing.
That's true. As Guardians walk around like, poof, all right, I look like a fucking,
But, I mean, yeah, Thor's able to do it, at least on his own accord. I don't know what that is. And Loki is not only, able to do it on himself, but he's able to create, what are they called? Doppelgangers of himself.
Oh, yeah.
Or other illusionary effects. But Thor, it's like, it's reflected at his mood.
Yeah. Which is kind of cool.
I mean, I can't even imagine that his overweight
armor came on. Yeah.
His overweight body. What is a calorie to an Asgardian? He's not gaining weight. There's no his metabolism slowing down.
He's 1,500 years old. I don't think he's ever had to worry about metabolism.
Yeah. So I'm just what I'm saying is it's at will. He's depressed and he's in his cyclical life and that tower that he was in.
So could he lose it at will too then?
I bet he could when he's ready.
When he fought, he just chose to be fat. He chose to be fat Thor.
I think
when he was fighting Thanos.
Yeah, I think
redeeming his.
And I don't think it affected him.
What do you think they're gonna do with his? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you.
Yeah, no.
What do you think they're gonna do with his? My nose.
Body in the future?
Yeah, in Guardians.
I think they're gonna breeze over him losing it quickly. I mean, actually, they'll probably make an awesome joke.
That's what I was thinking. I think they'll do a huge Chris
montage. Oh my God,
that would be really
amazing.
Cool. A training montage with the '80s overlay. Oh man!
But Thor strength versus Peter Quill strength, which is nothing.
Yeah,
because he gave up his godhood, and I see that's what I'm saying. What is
his kinghood?
His father was a celestial,
and Thor is, as far as I know, still a god.
Well, see, that's what I'm just saying. I speculate that Asgardians or Odin or Bor, Odin's father Bor.
That's boring.
Bohr, I think, or Bhor. I'm not sure. I think it's
pronounced
Bhor. Yeah, you're right. That's right. That's accurate.
Yeah.
I speculate that they didn't join the rest of the Celestials in their path of turning into energy. I think all the Celestials turned into energy, and that's why they have those gigantic suits. Those gigantic suits contain their energies. And that's the answer. That's also, I think, a backstory for Galactus. Galactus.
He's Marvel? Galactus is Marvel? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But he's not...
Isn't he X-Men, though?
He's Fantastic Four, majorly. But
that's right. Okay.
He's Marvel.
Okay.
In the back.
Who's the... I always picture a giant guy outlined of a face. He's wearing a cowl, and it's like purple and magenta, and he's got stuff coming off, and I imagine him as the size of a universe, and he's either eating it or he's yelling at somebody. Is that the guy who fights Silver Surfer? Some sort of world eater?
Galactus is a world eater.
What is he drawn like? When they in the comics, what does he look like? He
has a human face.
I have the internet
right? I implore you to access the internet. But he has a human face. He's got a purple suit. He has humongous headgear.
Yeah, that's the guy. Okay, it is Galactus.
That's the world eater.
That's the guy I'm thinking of.
And Silver Surfer is his herald.
I never saw the Fantastic Four, either of them. All three of them? None of them.
Pay the movies no mind.
Okay.
None of them are worth their time.
They're under Marvel now.
Yeah, and I think I heard they're going to have John from The Office, John
Krasinski.
He's
gonna be Mr. Fantastic. Oh my God, he'd be the perfect Mr. Fantastic.
And his wife being
Pam.
John Kay's wife in real life is
the British.
Yeah.
Emily Blunt.
Blunt, right.
She's gonna be Mrs. Fantastic.
I don't know.
Oh my God.
No.
Oh my God. I gotta pee even more now. Oh my God, that's so exciting.
That's what I've heard that I hope that they can land that. Disney, you have all the money.
Please.
Give them all the money.
You have the support, that's for sure.
Make a good fantastic. So anyway, Galactus is supposed to be the one of the definitely a survivor from the universe before ours. Right?
Huh.
And, which
He's
is
a
pretty
big ass survivor.
Right.
And he can shrink and make himself regular size, right? No, he's always gigantic.
He might be able to, but I don't think. I mean, no, I can't imagine him doing that. He doesn't think that much of our size stuff.
I was gonna say I figured he wouldn't think much of anything.
Yeah, he's more of a force of nature than a villain.
Yeah, he's like infinity or time in DC.
And from what I understand,
for Father Time and something.
NORAD. I don't remember the name of a guy who was Silver Surfer. Galactus was like, I'm going to eat your planet, and this dude said, how about no? And he's like, if I knew that there was another planet that NORAD guy, it's like, what if there's a planet without sentient life or intelligent life, how about those? It's like, well, if I had, there's no time. If I had maybe a searcher to find them for me, I might be able to do that in the future, but I need this. And he's like, okay. I'll become your herald, and I'll find a planet that isn't advanced life, and you can eat that. And that's how Silver Surfer and Galactus came.
Jesus.
And so that guy is just searching for planets that don't have intelligent life on it.
What the fuck?
So that Galactus can eat.
Wow. So he saved his planet, or Galactus ate his planet?
Probably something a little bit of both.
Did the Avengers ever
Silver
fight
Surfer has a
Galactus?
I don't doubt that there's a crossover, but I mainly see him as a Fantastic Four villain, and it's usually figuring out how to dissuade him from devouring.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can't imagine a fight with him as anything more than a conversation.
Yeah, I've also heard of a comic where Squirrel Girl beat Galactus.
No,
Squirrel Girl beats everybody.
She beat Thanos too, didn't she?
Yeah. There's always a comment about how Squirrel Girl beat everybody. Never take on Squirrel Girl.
So to Thor.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That movie, Thor. Back it up.
Bag it up.
The one guy, the rapier, the guy who used the rapier sword.
Yeah.
He was Prince Charming in that movie where he's Prince Charming.
I believe you. Yeah. He does look like a Prince Charming guy. He had a infectious laugh when he was running, and very infectious laugh.
Oh yeah.
And that's
when the thing fell and was chasing him underneath.
Yeah. And then the instantly humble Thor says, I know what I gotta do.
I gotta walk up to it and tell it to go away. That's my shining moment. Redeemed.
Yeah.
Well, he does say, take me instead of them.
Also, do you notice how fantastic he looks in the tiny t-shirt they gave him?
Tiny t-shirt flannel combo? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's been rocking that look since
practically a dude rag.
2010.
And he walks his human form up to Loki and say, please, Loki. I see him walking up, and no part during this do I see Loki with a real heart. He's obviously at this point disregarded his brother's safety. He's lied to his brother, said his mother forbid his return to Asgard. That's just ridiculous. And
Totally agree with you. That's a really great point. Was here the whole time.
yeah, and so there's no point in which I felt that Loki's gonna maybe turn around and treat Thor okay. No. It was clobbering time from the get go. Yeah, so the backhand, I don't know how he wasn't expecting that. Like, oh, he's turning around. Where is he gonna go? I mean,
he's gonna get more power to hit you in the face. Yeah, I didn't really understand that either. I also, like you mentioned a few minutes ago, didn't like the whole I get my armor back now that I have the hammer. Well, seems to be the common theme. If he slams the axe down or holds the hammer up high and gets struck with lightning, he's able to...
Well, I think that he gets his powers back because he dies, or he was ready to die.
Yeah, I don't think he dies. He is ready. Yeah, he is ready to die.
Right.
Yeah.
And just before his human body's crushed, and he's about to die, and Odin's like, all right.
Superpowers! So he cried for him.
Yeah, the shed one tear during the Odin sleep.
Yeah. And what's that gold shit protecting him? Is that magic coma healing power?
You know what gives Odin his power?
The tears of his fallen enemies.
Yeah, it's conveniently called the Odin Force. Could you imagine that?
Wow.
Yeah. And so when he goes into sleep, he's in a cocoon of his Odin Force, and he's absorbing his own powers or something like that.
That's like that DBZ abridged I sent you.
Yeah.
It's Prince Vegeta.
Yeah.
Who is son of Vegeta from Planet
Vegeta.
The
He's
planet.
Like,
we killed the planet, my dad or
me.
Yeah, me. Yes. Says he's gonna destroy Vegeta. The planet, my father, or me. Yes.
And they all fly.
And he just blasts him.
Yeah.
But yeah. Not a fan of the bad guy in this one either. It's just like a
guardian, the tomb guardian of.
He got his ass kicked by a tornado and a hammer.
Yeah, basically. I mean, ultimately.
And how did they
Ultimately, it's by Odin's favor. Without Odin's interference, Loki would have had the day. It would have been done. But
I don't think the audience can hear my eyes rolling.
Right, totally eye rolling. But I mean, not only does Thor get his hammer back and his armor and his powers, and he can thwack at the destroyer more.
Whack-a-mole.
Right, but the destroyer wasn't nothing to Thor in the first place, anyway. But I mean,
yeah, I guess that's true.
Right, he was.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be a threat to whatever. But anyway, I imagine that Loki can only derive that when he sees Thor at full power, that Odin had a hand in that. And if he's fighting Odin already at this point, I could see Loki saying, "Oh, fuck this! Nope, I'm out. Nope, I quit. No, I'm not gonna fuck with Odin because he's hateful but respectful of Odin."
Yeah, which is kind of silly. He raised him for 1,500 years and then immediately becomes resentful.
Yeah, well, I don't think it was immediately. I think it was.
It was definitely a driving force in this movie. After he learned about
definitely.
it. And then obviously he cared about his father I think Odin's heart was broken, which is why he's in the whole Odin Force.
Sleep. Odin sleep.
Oh, he's in Odin sleep, being protected by Odin Force.
Right. Oh yeah. It's very vague, and I don't know if he renamed it after.
It was probably called Boar.
It was the Boar Force?
It was Boar Force and Boar Sleep. Well, that motherfucker's dead now, so...
It's Odin Force.
It's Odin Force.
Odin Sleep.
Yep, so when Thor sleeps now, it's Thor Sleep. And he's got Thor Force.
Yeah, right.
Which is way cooler to say. Thor Force.
Evolutions. It's very questionable. Pretty questionable. But, I mean... That's what I was saying at the beginning of this. It's crazy that they, in the 70s, decided, you know what? I know we got like a super soldier You know,
A smart, crazy billionaire with a suit.
yeah, an Iron Man, right. But let's throw in a Nordic god, Odin's son.
What about Greek gods? No. Overplayed, played out. This is 1970. Okay?
And the funny thing is, it's a DC claim, the Greek gods.
Really?
Yeah, that's what.
Oh, yeah, Dark Side and...
well, that's what Wonder Woman is supposed to be.
Amazonian?
An Amazonian, which is supposed to be a protector from the ancient gods, and she fights Ares, the god of war.
Yeah, that's right. Ares. That's right. Oh, yeah. Huh.
Yeah. So
Motherfuckers.
it's his claimings, and I gotta
Yeah.
say, I'm down with the Nordic gods over the Greek gods, but it's a good choice, Marvel.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying it's a bold choice to involve gods in your story anyway.
Especially gods that change shapes and enjoy bestiality and
yeah,
have
right.
the craziest stories I've ever heard.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I gotta say, though I like Jane Foster, Natalie Portman, and Thor, Chris Hemsworth, I don't know how much I feel the chemistry of Chris Hemsworth, Thor, and Jane Foster.
No. It was hardly there to
Yeah.
begin with.
Yeah.
Barely played upon.
But not what I'm going to this movie for. I'm just calling it out.
No. The end, I didn't really... I mean, I get...
Wanted some tragedy
like you're
with...
saying... With Loki falling?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I understand him...
No Loki.
Yeah. And like you said, Loki probably knows he's got better prospects in that void,
Nebula,
wherever he's falling to.
Right.
I don't really understand the gravity
off
physics.
the light bridge into the cosmos.
Yeah, but Odin getting there as quickly as he did. He was being healed by the Thor force, or I'm sorry, the Odin force in his Odin sleep, and then instantaneously after Thor smashes the Rainbow Road.
Yeah, I mean, for as all as we know, Odin can teleport at will.
All right, it's magic, right?
Right.
Magic.
Yeah. In Asgard, which is just like a floating city with with rivers just casting water off into the void of space.
Falling off into... First of all, falling. Again. Falling.
How does gravity work there?
Doesn't matter. It's magic.
Yeah. It's his imagination that's keeping Asgard in reality. Which is cool to think about. If you've seen the show Legion.
Yeah.
The idea of such a reality manipulator, that might be an idea of what Legion would, a person with Legion's powers could do in 10,000, 20,000 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's crazy to conceive. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's cray-cray.
It's cray-cray.
But the final scene after the credits, after Thor admits to Odin that he doesn't know a lot, we see Eric Selvig, I'm guessing under the influence of Loki or just being followed by Loki.
Must be just being followed or observed, or
he definitely repeats what he says.
Yeah, so he must be influencing in his head.
Yeah,
magic. God magic. I don't know.
Nick Fury tells him about the Tesseract, and tells him that it's untapped, unlimited power, and Eric is very interested. Which ends Thor. The first Thor.
I'm looking forward to seeing Thor 2. I've never seen it, and it's been so long.
Yeah, I have seen it, but I've seen it in bits and pieces on TV, so I don't know what I've missed. But I'm more excited for our next movie, Captain America: The First Avenger, released in 2011, and I forgot to write down the director.
I don't know if it's Iron Man 1 or Thor, or Captain America 1 that is my favorite overall. It's one of those two.
Overall?
Yeah.
Joe Johnston.
If I mean, just to love the finale best, I could say, saying loving the action of Endgame the best. But I really, for me personally, I love I love origin stories, and seeing Iron Man 1 and Captain America 1, I can do. Those are some of my fallback movies. I could just put those on and watch those and be warm in my cockles.
The cockles of your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Captain America, I think, is definitely my favorite of the origins, only because I love World War II flicks. And that was like not only a slight parody on the propaganda. The whole Americana of the 1940s and 50s, but I just like World War II flicks.
Yeah, no, I like the heart of Captain America.
Hugo Weaving, I mean,
yeah.
Come on.
Oh man,
Hugo Weaving as Red Skull. Awesome.
He was unbelievable as Red Skull, and it's so sad that he did not agree with the part, or at least the studio, or what have you.
By the makeup.
Yeah, absolutely. The process, right? Absolutely.
A daunting process, but we'll save the rest of that conversation for next time. I'm Dan S. as in science.
And I'm Dan F. as in fictional.
And you have yourself a great scientastic day.